Okay, I'm going to go over one more time the problems that I see with the movie What in the World Are They Spraying? And the entire direction that a certain portion of the so-called chemtrail protest movement has gone. And I believe What in the World Are They Spraying, in conjunction with the release of the geoengineering moratorium and the recent news releases about geoengineering, trying to sell geoengineering to the public, have been an intentional disinformation campaign to lead people uh, basically from the truth. So, what's the basic problem with the movie? And I have not seen the movie yet. I'm probably going to watch it. I've only seen the trailers, but so far, um, I think I can see enough just from the trailers that I know the direction of the movie and what the problems of it are. So what are the problems with the movie? Okay, first of all, we'll start with the title. What in the world are they spraying? Um, the movie quickly answers its question, and its answer to the question, what in the world are they spraying, is that they are spraying aluminum and also barium and other metals that have shown up in tests that many people, including myself, actually had done from private labs. Anybody can test their rainwater and find that there's aluminum and other metals in it. So, the basic limited hangout operation is that it's limited in answering the question, what in the world are they spraying? It answered it by limiting the answer of what in the world they are spraying to what the average citizen can figure out by getting a simple rainwater test, which has been done. So it was a damage control operation because of all these tests that have been coming out. And so what it did was immediately, in light of these tests that people are finding aluminum, it instantly limited the extent of what they are spraying to what those tests were showing. And then it came in and erroneously provided what what it presented as solving the mystery of why they're finding aluminum. And all it did was present the government's own cover story for for why people are seeing aluminum and for why they would be seeing so-called chemtrails. So in the beginning of the trailer, it says I want to talk about the chemtrail issue, or the geoengineering, otherwise known as chemtrails. Assuming that chemtrails, which have been seen for 10 plus years, are this program called geoengineering, and then it instantly introduces that program known as geoengineering, and then the movie becomes a platform for the geoengineers and the CFR and the United Nations to basically pitch this thing they call geoengineering, which is nothing but a deception, a cover story. This is their own global warming cover story. The movie becomes a platform for the government to leak its own cover story and make it seem like it's not a leak, but make it seem like these guys have gotten to the bottom of a big mystery. So um, the basic problem is, okay, what is the thesis of the entire movie? It's that this aluminum, okay, basically all the movie is this. It's a thesis, antithesis, synthesis Hegelian dialectic. First, you got the aluminum that people have found independently. And then you've got the geoengineers presenting, being given a platform to pitch their global warming cover story, and the geoengineering scenario is piggybacked on top of the global warming cover story, and it's pitched to the viewer as a benign program to stop global warming. So the movie supports the global warming cover story and the geoengineering cover story, which is piggybacked on top of the global warming cover story. So it attempts to explain away aluminum that people have found by the government's own cover story. So the basic flaw is that it links chemtrails and aluminum that people have found to the very geoengineer programs that are presented in the movie. And it leads people to believe that these geoengineering programs that are presented are already in effect, and that this explains why people are finding aluminum. And this is the conclusion that the movie leads people to believe. But that is not true. It's flawed. There's no link there. There's no link between chemtrails and people finding aluminum on the ground. There's no direct link to the geoengineering programs that are described. The only link is that people are seeing chemtrails and they're finding aluminum. And people are led to assume that the geoengineering programs that are described by the geoengineers in the movie are already in progress, which means the geoengineers are lying when they say that they're not already in progress. So it accuses the geoengineers of lying about the status of the programs they are describing without proving that the chemtrails and the aluminum that people have found are linked in any way to the geoengineering programs that are proposed. But obviously the intent of the proposals of the geoengineers was to convince the chemtrail protesters that those programs already in fact were in effect, and to make them look stupid by claiming that you guys are already doing the geoengineering that you're describing and you're just lying about it. Well, the geoengineers can confidently refute that and say that no, we are not doing any geoengineering. And they can say that with confidence because none of the geoengineering projects which they describe in the movie are projects that they have any knowledge that are already being implemented, and they have no knowledge that any of the chemtrails or the aluminum that people are finding is in any way linked to the programs that they have proposed. So it's all a very sophisticated, clever deception. And whether the movie intended this or not, the CFR and the people doing the chemtrails were able to manipulate it in this way. So that's the main problem, is that it leads people to believe that the chemtrails and the aluminum they found are the geoengineering programs that have been proposed. But there's no proof of that. So the protesters are made to look foolish by claiming something that they can't prove and that is easily deniable by the geoengineers. Now, my suggestion for anybody who really wants to get to the bottom of this is not to claim that the geoengineers are lying about whether they've started geoengineering projects or not, because you can't prove that they're lying about that, and they most likely, well, they definitely aren't lying about that, because the geoengineering programs don't even match the chemtrails and the observations that have been taken for 10 years. But the movie What in the World Are They Spraying fails to present a review of any of the research that's been meticulously done on this issue. It only jumps to the conclusion that everything is explained by this geoengineering proposal, and it's not. So if you really want to break this story and get to the bottom of it, attack the lie that the geoengineers can definitely be caught in. And it's so obvious and so glaring, yet everybody ignores the lie that they do tell, that they definitely can be caught in a lie. And that is simply this. Number one, there is no global warming. So if you want to get to the bottom of this story, here's what you got to do. You have to find out. Go to ClimateGate and go to the global warming falsified scientific research. Find out who initiated the fraud of falsifying the scientific research to promote the global warming agenda. Find out who was responsible for that, and find out what the motive would be for doing that. It was the basic lie in the movie. The basic lie is not that they've already started doing geoengineering to stop global warming. The basic lie is that there even is any global warming at all. And that's, when you find out, when you go to the fraud of global warming itself and the falsified scientific research and constructing the phony research for global warming and then the phony geoengineering proposals that are piggybacked on top of that, when you find out who's behind that and what their motive is, then you will be on the road to breaking chemtrails. But what in the world are they spraying leads you down a dark alley and you come to a dead end. So if you want to break the story, go to the basic fraud of global warming itself. That's the key. And geoengineering is a fraud, fraudulent proposals that aren't even being implemented. They're made to give chemtrail protesters something to believe is what chemtrails are, but it's not. It's a phony, it's a decoy. Geoengineering is a decoy. It's not real. And it backs up the global warming cover story that's not real. So go to the fraud behind global warming, ClimateGate. That's where you will find who's really behind chemtrails and what the real agenda is.